you got to tap into something else. Go in that audition, go do that show, go do that whatever, go to that interview, and just
make it happen.
Just make it happen.
But that's what this past year, 2022, I feel like was a lot of that for me. Of realizing I don't get to like sit in my comfort zone at all really anymore. I still do in the sense of most of my work is all done between like me, my marketing manager, my videographer. Like I have a small group of people that I'm working with, but there's a lot of different stuff that makes me like uncomfortable
like
to
what?
do. This podcast is uncomfortable for me.
Okay.
Like a lot of, because I feel like the podcast, because it's going to sound weird, because I do, like I'm naked all over the internet, but doing stuff like this feels more personal to me. And so it's a lot, I feel more bare doing stuff like this than I do that.
Oh. That's interesting.
Right?
Because you would think that would be the other way around. I can understand that though.
Which that was like a little uncomfortable for me when I first started. But then aspects of it started feeling like empowering. And then now at this point it's kind of like a copy paste. Not copy paste because I try to keep my content like fresh and interesting. But in terms of the procedures that I go into when making content has become a lot more streamlined. And so it makes it even more comfortable for me to do it. Whereas this is obviously very new. And so it's just the uncomfortable part of getting used to something. And then it's a different kind of, like I said, it's a whole different kind of content.
Okay. So I have a question. Like when it comes to like the OnlyFans content and stuff like that, is there sometimes where you just like, where your emotions like really be in it? And are there sometimes where it's like zero emotion at all? It's like, okay, once we get the camera, I don't give a fuck. I
think the portrayal of the emotions in my content, it comes from an organic place.
Oh, okay. You answered that real good. Okay, cool. Okay.
But a lot of it, it just kind of depends on the content. I think a lot of people assume, I can't speak for other creators, obviously, but I think a lot of people assume when they see really anybody who gets into like any kind of adult content, the assumption is that they are very horny. And that's why they get into it, which was not the case for me. And it's like not the case for me in general. Like I'm sexual. I love sex. I don't think about sex 24 hours a day. Like if I was not doing adult content, I wouldn't even have sex as much as I have sex. At all in general.
Interesting. That makes sense though.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so sometimes it takes, like, you have to, like, work yourself up into it, into certain things. And I think also, too, people, just in general, they think that a camera gets turned on and you just go to fucking and everybody comes. And then that's how porn is produced. And while some homemade content can be a little bit more like that, professionally done content is not like that at all. We're filming this clip and then we're stopping. We're filming this clip and then we're stopping. We're filming this clip and then we're stopping. And then now we have to move to a whole different section of the area that we're filming in. So now it's a 20-30 minute break for having to move all of his stuff around. And then it's back to filming and then filming another thing. And especially when you're working with like any kind of male talent, you're having them get aroused repeatedly, and all of the men.
Definitely.
And so just in general, what tends to happen, and that kind of is no fault to the men, but what can typically happen in those kind of scenarios is, you start having issues with standing up, shall we say, because you start giving yourself blue balls.
Right.
Because you just done got excited, then unexcited, excited, then unexcited, excited, then unexcited,
Right.
over and over and over again. And so it's not as glamorous as what it looks like.
Thinking about it's giving me anxiety. I got anxiety.
It gave you performance anxiety?
Like thinking about that. Yeah.
That's why I say it's two different. Like when people do homemade OnlyFans content, like that's easy in the sense of you pop the thing up beside the stand for your camera beside your bed, and then just get to it.
Right.
Just make sure you're like inside of that camera angle range. But when you're doing professionally shot content, it's a lot different.
Wow. Yeah, that would give me anxiety.
They're very two different beasts.
I'd be like, oh, this is a lot. It would have to be a day when I'm like really in the mood, because it would be.
But that's the thing too. It's like when I book my content, or not my content, when I book my shoots, it's not like I'm gonna know whether or not I'm horny before I get there.
Right. Because your mood could change.
Because I'm booking them 2-3 a month in advance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's hard.
Me? Yeah. Most of my content is shot, it's pre-shot.
Uh-huh.
So if you see something in January, it was shot in December. Part of the stuff that's being shown in December now was shot in October, September.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. Damn, it's
The same way you have a product.
Right.
You ain't gonna mix it up today and then go sell it at the store tomorrow.
It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business.
It's a whole business. It's hard, too.